Good morning, Team FYN sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Instant Replay. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter, along with my co-host, Dave Garner, that is on the line and will be with us shortly. We have a lot on our agenda today to talk about. We have the GHSA State Golf Tournament that took place this past week. We have some graduations that we're going to mention, and then, of course, going into summer, we have some summer camps that we'll talk about. And we'll go from our local sports on into our regional sports. But before that, we want to take a moment to remember that yesterday, part of the reason that we're having our show today on Tuesday instead of our regular time yesterday on Monday is because we want to take the day to remember those who have fought for our freedoms that we enjoy every day. And of course, that was Memorial Day. And I want to lead off the show with this quote that I found online. It says, "Only two defining forces have ever offered to die for you: Jesus Christ and the American soldier. One died for your soul and the other died for your freedom." And on a personal note, of course, I have always been appreciative of our armed forces and all that you do. I have two grandfathers that have both served. But going to the University of North Georgia and having a constant reminder of course, the cadets and the Corps of Cadets that are there. And when I was in my graduation ceremony, we had the moment where all of the cadets that were commissioning stand up and remove their caps and gowns to take their oath of service. So I want to, of course, extend a thank you to all of our current servicemen and women, as well as our veterans and your family and friends. We will never forget what you have done for us. And before we go into our agenda and get into sports, I want to, of course, welcome my co-host, Dave Garner. Dave, how are you doing today?
Well, doing pretty well. Actually in my office right now. Excuse me, but the conditioning is out, working very well. If I start beating up with sweat, a little bit later in the show, you'll know. So I do want to echo your thought. Obviously, Memorial Day, there are a lot of folks, and one of the things that we did is we stressed to our kids over the weekend, particularly on Monday, why exactly it is, making sure they completely understood that. I had an uncle that died in Vietnam. I had a grandfather, of course, that served in World War II. My dad was in the Navy during the Korean War. And so I've got a lot of vets in my family. And I guess if it's one regret, looking back on my life, is that I didn't serve in the United States military. However, I grew up in a time of peace for the most part, and as a lot of folks that are younger know, you have a lot more folks that are volunteering now than you did, years and years ago, and during the World Wars when folks were drafted and so forth. So but my thoughts go out to everyone. Again, our armed forces who have fought for our freedom and some the ultimate sacrifice, as you mentioned, Lauren. And so again, I appreciate you leading the show that way. Very patriotic as well. But yeah, we got a great sports lineup for you today. A lot of things going on, and Lauren, I'll let you kick it off.
All right, Dave, and thank you as well for those thoughts. So we'll jump right into it. Of course, I mentioned that we have the GHSA golf tournament that took place this past weekend that we want to give some shout outs for, and we'll just get right into it. So first of all, going into Pickens, and want to give a shout out to our sports reporter, RJ Casey, for this information. RJ, thank you for all of your reporting. Senior Catherine Dinsmore, who is actually a University of West Georgia golf signee, finished in a tie for ninth in the Quad A state tournament. She was the best finish out of any player in Region 6. And then we also have Yates Smith from Pickens finishing in a tie for 23rd in the boys tournament. He is the third best finish for a Region 6 player. Congratulations to both of you Dragons that placed so well at the golf tournament. Then we'll go on into Murray County. Murray County High School senior Tori Owens won her second consecutive Class 3A individual state title. And it's funny when RJ sent me over the highlights from Pickens, I was telling him, I said, wow, this is incredible. I can't even play golf. And here these young athletes are placing, with their Tori with her second consecutive Class 3A state title, and it's just congratulations to you, Tori, and congratulations to all of you athletes that we have mentioned so far and that we are going to continue to mention. Then over into White County, we had the girls team place third in state. I have written in my notes all capitals for Class Quad A. Katie Craig tied for second in the low round of the tournament and second overall, also in all caps in my notes, in the individual championship with a score of 4 above par. Congratulations to you, Katie. And then over in the boys tournament for White County, Jacob Adams tied for 57th in that tournament. So congratulations to both of you Warriors. Then we'll go over into Dawson County, and we're just going county by county here. Girls tied for 10th overall in Class 3A, and Will Howard over in the boys tournament placed 37th. So congratulations to you Tiger golfers. Then over in North Murray, Gage Winkler placed 4th in the boys 3A tournament with a score of 4 above par. Congratulations, Gage. And then Rabun County, we had a lot of people place, and we're just going to read through this, so bear with us here for a minute. The girls team placed 8th overall in the 2A championship. Journey Quilliams tied for 10th. Cassie Richardson placed 25th. Faith Cofield placed 26th. The boys finished 11th overall in the 2A tournament. John Hash tied for 26th. Garrett Horton tied for 30th. Connor Horton tied for 38th. Dalton Ramey tied for the 76th spot, and Clayton Dixon finished 78th. Congratulations to those of you from Rabun County that placed so well. Then finally we have over in Union County, the girls placed 12th overall. Carson Chambers placed 30th. Kate McCarter tied for 34th. Leanna Gray placed 42nd, and Allison Caldwell placed 43rd. So congratulations to all of you that we have mentioned just now in the GHSA State Golf Tournament. Dave, do you have anything that you want to add in?
Man, I tell you, just aggressive round by of Bree County. I mean, it's just an awesome effort there. Second, Class 3A state title. We talk a lot about Catherine Dinsmore in Pickens County and what another great round by Catherine as well, who, of course, is headed level to continue athletic and academic career. Tori Owen County, congratulations. That's just absolutely awesome. Catherine Dinsmore, again, certainly living up to it, tied for 9th as she finishes. And then, how about White County? I mean, the Lady Warriors going inside the top 5, third in the state in Class 4A, and Katie Craig with another just absolutely astonishing performance as she finishes second second overall in the individual championship. And 4 above par. I mean, you're shooting 76. I mean, that is amazing when you talk about high school golf, and especially on the girls' side as well, because again, in high school it's a little bit different. I mean, you think over par. Yeah, at the professional level, people are winning under par, but to be that close to par at the high school level says a lot about how good these golfers are, both boys and girls. So, again, just a great effort. I think Katie Craig certainly stood out, obviously. Of course, Tori Owens win another state championship. Like we said, that's remarkable. Catherine Dinsmore. And then on the guys' side, too, I mean, Gage Winkler of North Murray, what a job there by the Mountaineer. I tell you what, 4th in the boys 3A tournament with a score of 76. And I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, we've got a lot of great teams and a lot of great student athletes in this area. Traditionally, though, when you talk about sports like golf and tennis and those sorts of things, they're obviously sports that are oftentimes dominated by the private schools a little bit closer to Atlanta. So for me, to add my little commentary to it, it's refreshing to see that you have the quote unquote mountain schools are able to put folks into that state championship conversation in those what we call secondary sports like golf and tennis, cross country, those sorts of things. Great to see. Very, very proud of our spring sports athletes, especially our golfers who are done on the links.
Definitely, Dave, and I just want to echo those thoughts. Congratulations to all of you that have played so well. I mean, like I mentioned before, I don't consider myself an athlete, but I also cannot play golf to save my life. I mean, I can barely even make it through a round of putt-putt. So congratulations again to all of you that did so well. Although we are wrapping up the spring sports, of course, I know that you all will probably be training going into the fall. And here at Team FYN Sports, we are definitely looking forward to the future, looking forward to see what you all are going to be doing. And we will be there with you every step of the way because we are all over it. But it is time for us to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be getting into some college signings that we want to mention and some more congratulations there. Be talking about wrapping up the summer and spring sports and getting into those fall sports in the preseason. So stick with us, Team FYN Sports fans. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and that means maximum discounts no other dealer can touch. Like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save over $5,500 off new Chevy Colorado. Nobody's got a selection like this, or bigger discounts than Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's Truck Month every hour, every day, every month, and where Chevy trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Welcome back, Team FYN sports fans. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter, here on Instant Replay, along with my co-host, Dave Garner. Before we get back into some new announcements that we have, I want to give a little bit of a recap. Before we went to break, we were talking about the GHSA golf tournament at State this past weekend. Had a lot to talk about as far as some athletes that played really well at that and placed really well. And if you've missed anything before we went into the break, I want to remind you all that you can follow up with us on our Team FYN Sports Facebook page, and you can see the card there. You can find us at Team FYN Sports on Twitter and on Instagram as well, and subscribe to FYN TV, Fetch Your News on YouTube. And then if you have anything that you want to tell us about, we love to have some information sent to us so that we can give you a shout out on our show. You can find our contact information down there on the card as well. So we're going to jump right back into it. White County had several signees this past week. We have Abby Taylor that signed to play softball at South Georgia State, as well as Sawyer Loggins that signed to play baseball at Shorter University. So congratulations to both of these Warriors. We'll be looking forward to see what all you accomplish as you go into your college career. And I just want to say, I sound like probably an old woman when I'm about to say this, but it seems like you have 4 years ahead of you and it's going to go by so slowly and you have all the time in the world. But as a recent college grad, I will say that the past 4 years have gone by super quickly. So enjoy your time, and we here at Team FYN Sports will be with you every step of the way. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you within the next few years. Now, we're going to be going basically county to county like we normally do here on Instant Replay. And we're going to go right into Gilmer and talk about some things that are going on over there. First of all, we had several members from the track, tennis, soccer, and baseball teams receive recognition at last week's Board of Education meeting. So congratulations to all of these athletes, and congratulations to all that you have accomplished over this past 2019 season. And baseball wrapped up their season this year at their year-end banquet. And congratulations to all that you have accomplished. And I'm going to bring back my co-host Dave Garner to kind of talk a little bit more about Gilmer Sports and what all has happened over there for the 2019 season. Dave?
Yeah, it's awesome to see student athletes excelling at the next level. And as we talk about here with our Team FYN Sports, we're always highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way. And that's really what our coverage of this show is all about. And so, Lauren, I thank you for putting together a lot of great information. You and Josh really tag teaming this show here today, and it's always a lot of fun. I want to go back, though. White County, again, are taking it to the next level segment, if you will. I think the most satisfying thing about what we do in covering high school sports is watching a group of young athletes or individuals, for that matter, excel at the level. And to be able to follow them all through high school and into college and watch the maturity and watch the process, seeing what they're able to do, growing and going at next level. And so for folks like Abby Taylor and Sawyer Loggins, softball basically, it's awesome to see them, excelling and doing their thing at the next level. And I'm Gilmer. I know I'm having some internet problems as well, so I may be stuck on the screen right away from the I apologize for that. So again, at any time, none of this is making any sense, y'all take it back. But in Gilmer County, though, what a year for the Bobcats. I mean, their baseball team took big strides. I know they fell outside of the playoff standings there, but man, just a great season. Coach Jeff Thurman continues to get those guys in the right frame of mind. The esports team, the Rocket League team. We talked about it last week with Pickens and being the state champs. Gilmer also starting their esports team as well and make it into the playoffs for Rocket League, League of Legends. I don't fully understand all that, but you guys probably, some of you at home may. Tennis, another state-bound team, especially for the boys. I mean, these guys the last couple of years have really shown that they are one of the more dominant teams right now in the area. Track, I mean, you look at the state qualifiers that they had, Carlos Cruz, Naomi Coombs, I mean, several runners going on. The soccer team, again, had another great year. So all in all, it was a great spring sports season for the Gilmer Bobcats and Lady Cats. And we're also seeing a slew of their athletes who will also be headed to the next level as well. I'm excited about it.
Thank you for that, Dave. And I just began this job maybe about a couple of weeks ago. So my only regret so far is that I haven't been here long enough to really get to know these athletes for the spring season and to personally see their accomplishments. But like I said, I mean, we're definitely looking forward here at Team FYN Sports to hearing more about them as they go into college, of course, with our signees and with our seniors, but also for those who will be coming back, seeing what all else they accomplish going into their respective seasons. So speaking of the future, we're going to talk a little bit about some summer camps happening around in Gilmer. So I want to mention that the Lady Cat softball camp will be taking place June 24th through the 27th. The Lady Cat basketball camp will be taking place June 3rd through the 6th. Youth baseball camp will be taking place June 10th through the 12th. Little Kids basketball camp will be happening June 24th through the 27th. Gilmer wrestling camp will take place June 10th through the 12th. Cheerleading mini camp will take place June 10th through the 13th. And now for registration and contact info on any of these camps, all you have to do is just visit the Gilmer High School Facebook page. Now, Dave, it's interesting to me, again, I'll say it over and over again, I've never really considered myself an athlete. In a previous life, I was a member of the Mill Creek Color Guard and the Mill Creek Winter Guard, which kept me pretty busy year round. But, you have these athletes who really, to perfect their sport, they play year round. So really going into the summer, it might seem like, oh, well, things are kind of slow. It's going in the summer. There's not a whole lot going on. But really, there's always something going on because you have athletes who even play multiple sports. And it's always amazing to me how frequently they train and how busy they are. And Dave, I'm sure you probably have some thoughts on this as far as these athletes that keep themselves busy year round with training and with playing multiple sports.
Yeah, Lauren, I had the conversation with someone the other day, and I know we're talking mostly about youth camps and youth sports, but nowadays, and things have changed a lot since I played. I'm the old guy now. But, you have these student athletes who play the sport year round, and all what happens is when they're in their high school seasons, the college also in their season, the coaches don't get to watch these guys play much during the season. So when you're looking, AAU and some of these things.
It looks like we lost Dave there. So as soon as we can, y'all will bring him back. And until then, we're just going to go right into some Lumpkin County info that we have before we go into our next break. So want to give a shout out to the Anna's Little Indians cheer camp that will be taking place June 18th through the 21st from 6 until 8 p.m. The cost is $75 per cheerleader, but there is a $15 discount for siblings. Now, registration forms for that are available in the front offices of schools, so you can find those there. And then moving into the Little Indian baseball camp that will be taking place June 10th through the 12th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. at Lumpkin County High School, of course at Indian Park. The ages are 5 to 12, and campers will receive a free camp shirt with the camp registration cost, which is $70. Now, for more info, you can contact head coach Jonathan Gasly at his number, which is 770-851-0457. And before we go into our next break, we want to give a shout out. Now, like I've mentioned before, in a previous life, I was a member of the Mill Creek Marching Band. I was a member of the Mill Creek Color Guard. And so the band has a special place in my heart. And before we go into our next break, I want to give a shout out to the Lumpkin County High School Band of Gold that marched in the City of Gainesville Memorial Day Parade. And Josh, you might want to run that video silently in the background if you can. But of course, Memorial Day took place yesterday, and when we opened our show before the break, we gave a brief shout out to all of the servicemen and women who are active in the active armed services, and then also that are veterans. And we just want to take this moment again to thank each and every one of you for your service and for your sacrifice. Now, when we come back from the break, we'll be talking about some graduations and talking about some accomplishments of the class of 2019. So stay with us, Team FYN sports fans. We will be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN 10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Better days ahead.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and that means maximum discounts no other dealer can touch, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save over $5,500 off new Chevy Colorado. Nobody's got a selection like this, or bigger discounts than Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's Truck Month every hour, every day, every month, and where Chevy trucks cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Welcome back, Team FYN Sports fans, to Instant Replay here in our studio in Ellijay, Georgia. Pleasant good morning to you. It's a beautiful day this morning. The sun is shining. We're coming off of a long weekend, of course. We celebrated Memorial Day yesterday, which is why we are having our show today on Tuesday instead of our normal time on Mondays. And again, before we went to the break and at the beginning of the show, we gave a shout out to and a thank you to all of our armed services and our servicemen and women and our veterans and their families, but we can never do that enough. So again, thank you for all that you do to keep us safe and to keep us free in this beautiful country. Now we're going to go into to talk about some other celebratory notes. Of course, with Memorial Day and with the end of May, we are talking about graduations. The class of 2019. Congratulations to, of course, all of our graduates in the area. And we're going to talk specifically more about each of your classes and the days that you graduated. So going right into it, Dawson County High School graduated more than 250 graduates on May 23rd for the class of 2019, and it was their 100th graduating class. So congratulations to all of you that are marking such a milestone, not only for yourselves, but also for your high school, for your now alma mater. And the Football Dawson Twitter handle tweeted the other day that the 2019 senior football class experience included some extremely important milestones: 35 wins, which are the most ever in school history, 4 consecutive playoff seasons, 6 home playoff games, a region championship, and an Elite Eight appearance, which is the first one ever in school history. So congratulations to the class of 2019 and all that you have accomplished in your 4 years at Dawson County High School. Now we're just going to mention some other high schools as well that have graduated and that will be graduating soon. Gilmore High School class of 2019 graduated on May 24th, which was my birthday. So congratulations, 2 reasons to celebrate there. Fannin County High School class of 2019 also graduated on May 24th. Union County High School class of 2019 graduated on May 24th. And the White County High School class of 2019 graduated May 25th. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to whoever was running the social media for White County High School. Y'all did an awesome job. I have alerts set for all of the high schools in the area for the Twitter handles, and it was like every other minute I was checking and there was some sort of notification for White County High School and their graduation. And y'all took a lot of selfies. You had a lot of pictures. It just looked like y'all were having a great time to celebrate your graduates. So congratulations to the White County High School class of 2019. And then the Lumpkin County class of 2019 will graduate on May 30th. So definitely looking forward to your graduation ceremony. And then Pickens High School will graduate this Saturday on June 1st as well. So congratulations to all of you who have graduated, and congratulations to all of you who will graduate. And again, we always say that we like to follow our student athletes as they go into their college career, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing all that you accomplish. And before we go into our next topic, I want to try to bring back my co-host, Dave Garner. We've been having a little bit of technical issues, but Dave, are you with us now?
Yeah, I'm here right now. Let's give this one more chance. We'll try it and see. But no, just to echo your thoughts again, obviously on Memorial Day, we thank those who, of course, have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. And on the graduation front, man, it's always just a great time of year. I mean, to see the culmination of hard work, and not just with our student athletes, but all students. And it's just a fun time of year. I want to go back real quick before my internet cuts out again. But I want to talk about a point, and that is something that you had asked in our last segment going to break, and that is about the year-round sports. And the point that I was trying to make before my internet so rudely went out, and it may go out again, but is that, a lot of our student athletes now are getting scholarships based on what they do away from their high school seasons. You have so many kids that are playing AAU ball, and the thing is, when these players, these student athletes are in season, so are the colleges that are recruiting them oftentimes. So the AAU summer year-round ball gives those coaches a chance to see the student athletes outside of their college seasons. And so nowadays, there is as many kids getting scholarships based on what they're doing away from their high school teams and AAU ball, summer camps, or what have you. I know with summer camps, we're talking mostly about youth and the younger up-and-coming student athletes. But still, the emphasis is a lot different. Like when I grew up playing ball, everybody just played their sport in season, and if they played multiple sports, they did that sport in that season. And then, you worked out, you did whatever, and goofed off in the summer. But you're seeing a lot more year-round sports being played, whether it be baseball, whether it be basketball, whatever the case may be. and it has really kind of jump-started the recruiting efforts and really made it a lot more of a process to have to go through now because the competition is just so great. So that's the point I was trying to make earlier, but certainly along the lines of graduation, the great time of year. And man, it's, I've got one that'll be graduating next year, my oldest. So, it's going to start that train, each and every year. So a lot of fun, though. Fun time of year.
You bring up an excellent point, Dave, with the year-round sports. It gives the athletes more of an opportunity to get that scholarship money. And that is definitely, especially just coming out of college, I know from firsthand experience how expensive college can be now. And it's really a good time for them to perfect their sport and then to have the opportunity to earn that scholarship money, which definitely can go a long way. And if you are a diehard athlete, you love your sport, you're going to want to play year round anyway, just to make yourself even better. So you bring up an excellent point, not only with the scholarships, but definitely also with the athletes perfecting their sport and having that opportunity to stand out to recruiters. So we're going to move from graduations on into some events going on over in Lumpkin County. Now, obviously, on our last show, I mentioned how Lumpkin County had hired a new head football coach for their program, Caleb Sorrells, who joins us from Stevens County. Now, last week, I had the opportunity to go and watch the football practice. Actually, I believe it was Coach Sorrell's first football practice with the Lumpkin County Indians. And then also had the opportunity to attend a meet and greet later that evening, which you can see in the picture there, when he was given a football jersey with the Lumpkin County Indians colors on there. And I had the opportunity to introduce myself to Coach Sorrells at the football practice and then also get a chance to talk to him one-on-one at the meet and greet. And I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to seeing what all he does with the Lumpkin County Indians. And when I was at practice, I noticed, of course, you can think of it as a typical football practice. They were running some drills, they were running some workouts. And he was trying to motivate his players by encouraging them not only to be physically better, but also to be mentally and emotionally better. As a matter of fact, he said that there are only two things you need, along with the physical abilities, of course, which are a strong mind and an unconquerable heart. And it really stood out to me how he's trying to motivate these guys to perform at their best physically, but also to be strong mentally and emotionally. Because although we know sport is such a physical game, it also is a mental and emotional one as well. You have to have faith in yourself and you have to believe that you are strong if you want to perform at your best. And then at the meet and greet, I was impressed with how he was focused on telling the parents of the football players that he is interested in motivating their sons as football players, but also in becoming better men. And three values that he plans to instill in them are family, tempo, and discipline. And a direct quote from him when I spoke to him after the meet and greet was, but eventually they're going to be husbands and they're going to be dads and they're going to be in some community somewhere, whether it's Lumpkin County or far, far away. I want their experience as football player to inform and to improve and to make better those roles that they play. So definitely Coach Sorrells looking to see how you motivate your players going into the preseason and then into the regular season, of course. And on the technical side, of course, I had to ask him because I was curious, and it's my job as a sports reporter to kind of find out maybe more what he has up his sleeve as far as running some technical plays. And he told me that off the top of his head, of course, he's got a long season, a long preseason ahead of him with hiring his coaching staff and everything. But he said that he does plan to run a lot of shotgun and RPOs, run play options. And my own personal opinion is based on his comments that he told me that he will probably be doing a lot more passing game and upping that passing game for QB1. And I'm really excited to see what all happens within the preseason and going into, again, the regular season. Dave, do you have any comments about that you want to chime in with?
Yeah, obviously the game has changed a lot. It's becoming more of a passing game. Even at the high school level, we're seeing more of that. And anytime you have a new coach that comes in, with that, often you change the philosophy a little bit on both sides of the ball, unless you're hiring from within, which, of course, Sorrells came from outside. And he's got quite a pedigree, as we talked about last week, Lauren, coming from a lot of championship caliber programs. And so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what he implements, and really in all three phases of the game. But I want to go back to a point that you made earlier in talking about Coach Sorrells and what he is trying to do, and not just growing football players, but growing young men into men. And I think it was Dabo Swinney who recently said, I saw a tweet or something somewhere that said, so it's got to be true, right? But he said, winning is great. But if we're not making these young men better dads and better husbands and better people, then we're losing, no matter how much we win on the field. And so I know a lot of coaches say that sort of stuff, but, these guys get to the level that they're at for a reason. And you can see the camaraderie that we see with the coaches and the relationship they have with their players, especially after winning a national championship. We see how their players react to Dabo. And so I believe it to a certain extent. And I believe it with Coach Sorrells and high school coaches. And having grown up playing football all through high school as I did, I can tell you, I mean, the relationship that you have with your coach, you spend as much time, if you play a sport, you spend as much time with that coach or the rest of your teammates as you do your own family, oftentimes, especially in season. So you do grow that bond. And I appreciate Coach Sorrell saying that, because there's a lot of truth to that. Again, I don't feel like I would be the person that I am today had I not grown up playing sports. That's not for everybody. It's not to say that everybody has to have sports to do that. But for me, and just the type of personality, type of person I am, I really needed that kind of structure, that organization. I think it helped me to be where I'm at today. And so, again, I appreciate him saying that. And you love to see that bond between coach and player.
Definitely, Dave. I agree with you 100%. And these high school players are at the level where they're really on the brink of the rest of their life, as far as, they have about maybe 3-4 years left of high school, and then they're going into college. And even after that, they're going into the real world. So definitely Coach Sorrells, I believe he even mentioned that, he has the opportunity, and his coaching staff has the opportunity to really influence and to impact these young football players. And all of these high school coaches across the area that we cover here at Team FYN Sports, and then of course all over the country and all over the world, have the opportunity to influence their players. And I'm definitely looking forward to see how they do that going into the season. And another point that I wanted to mention that you reminded me of, Dave, is with sports, I mean, we have a show here and we dedicate so much of our time to sports for a reason. And that's because of how much it encourages us and of how much of an important role it plays in so many of our lives. There are communities that rally around their football team every Friday night, and there are so many opportunities that come up from sports as far as players being able to go into the next level with college and with scholarships. And we could talk about that all day, but we do want to go to one more break before we close out the show. So when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit about our regional sports really quick with our professional sports, and we will wrap it up for our instant replay for the day. So stay with us for these last few moments of regional sports.
Better days ahead.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and that means maximum discounts no other dealer can touch, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save over $5,500 off new Chevy Colorado. Nobody's got a selection like this, or bigger discounts than Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's Truck Month every hour, every day, every month, and where Chevy trucks cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Welcome back once again to Instant Replay. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter, along with my co-host, Dave Garner. Before we went to the break, we were talking about some local sports, talking about some encouragement from Lumpkin County head coach Caleb Sorrells to his players. And now we're going to get into some regional sports real fast before we end for the day. So I'll go ahead and bring back my co-host, Dave Garner, to talk about the Atlanta Hawks and Atlanta United FC. Dave?
Yeah, it wasn't a great weekend for Atlanta United. It's been a tough stretch here after they had not given up a goal in 5 matches, and they had basically went from the bottom of the standings in the East to, a top four. Now all of a sudden they've gone 3 matches with 1 point, I guess. That's really about it. Of course, the loss to the Red Bulls last weekend, and then midweek last week they come up short against Real Salt Lake 2-1. Giving up a goal in the waning seconds of that match to lose it when it looked like they were going to be on the road and at least pick up a point with the draw there. So it's been a tough stretch for Atlanta United. But to be honest with you, these guys are physically wore out. I mean, they've played a lot of matches in a very short amount of time. Hopefully they're going to be able to get their legs back under them here in the next week or so because they've got some big ones coming up. But it's the nature of it. I mean, if you talk to these guys, they say that I'll be honest with you, we're pretty wore out right now. And so soccer is one of those matches you don't realize when you have 2 or 3 matches in the span of a week and a half, it takes a lot out of you. It really does. And so when the guys have the breaks, they tend to be a little bit fresher. So it's been a tough stretch, but they'll get back there. On the NBA front, again, Thursday, June 20th, the NBA draft. A lot of folks feel like if RJ Barrett's still around at that 8th spot out of Duke, the Hawks will take him. But we'll see what happens there. We'll talk a little bit more about that, of course, later on. And Lauren, I know the Braves have been busy. They've been, 2 out of 3, winning series. So so far, so good, and hopefully they can keep that up.
Oh, yes. I love my Braves, so I've been keeping up with it here as they've been doing really well over these last couple of series, first against the Giants and then against the Cardinals. And since we're running a little bit short on time, I'm just going to kind of run real quick through these highlights that I have here. But on Monday, we had Ronald Acuna Jr. hit 2 home runs against the Giants, and Austin Riley hit another home run on the same day. These 2 guys really coming out strong, and it seems like every day hitting a home run or doing something to really push the team ahead. Final score on Monday, 4-1 Braves. And then on Tuesday, the Giants came back in the 9th to win it 4-3. The Giants' Joe Panic hit a 2-run single off of Luke Jackson to win the game. Fortunately, it was the 4th blown save for Jackson, who was, at the time of that game, 2-1 on the season. But the Braves came back the next day, Wednesday, back-to-back homers by Swanson and Freeman in the second. It's like these 2 were just a dynamic duo. Don't know how to explain it other than that. A throwing error by the Giants' Jeff Samardzija opened the door for the Braves' back-to-back homers with Swanson and Freeman. Max Fried got his first career RBI in the 2nd inning, and he allowed 2 runs in 6 innings for a 3rd straight win and his national leading 7th win. And then overall, Austin Riley hit another home run for a final score of 9-2 Braves. The Thursday, we go into the Austin Riley hitting a 5th home run in 9 games. This guy just really coming out and smacking them out. Hit a game-tying run in the 8th and the homer in the 13th. Combined, the team hit 8 homers in 4-game series, most home runs hit in 1 series at the Giants ballpark for the Braves. And then in this game, Riley became the fastest player in Braves history in the live ball era to hit his first 5 home runs. And Riley and Ozzie Albies had 3 hits for Atlanta. Tyler Flowers homered for a final score of 5-4 Braves. And then on Friday, May 24th, Dansby Swanson moved to number 2 in the lineup, and something clicked for him. He homered twice. And then the final score for that was, let me see, lost it here. And I do not have it for whatever reason. So forgive me for that, Braves fans. I have committed the ultimate sin, forgetting what the final score was. But then on Saturday, May 25th, unfortunately fell to the Cardinals 6-3. But then on Sunday, May 26th, came back to win again. So definitely the Braves doing well here in this series, and we've got to wrap it up because we're short on time. Dave, I'll bring you back one last time for any final comments.
Well, it's been a great stretch for the Braves, and we'll bring Josh into the discussion more as we get into summer, because that'll obviously be the focus of what we're going to talk about more so as we kind of shift away from our high school stuff for the summer until we jump back in with football. But Lauren, I appreciate it. Thank you for carrying us today. I know I've had some internet issues on my end, so we do apologize for that, but we do appreciate you guys hanging with us. And just remember, if you're not an athlete, you can at least be an athletic supporter. Ha ha. Anyway, there's my joke for the day. Have a great week. Thank you, and back to you, Lauren.
I guess that's what you could consider me, Dave, an athletic supporter along with a sports reporter, since I say over and over again that I'm not an athlete. But don't worry, Team FYN sports fans, I do know my sports. So come back to us next Monday at 10 a.m. We will be back here with our regular time and our regularly scheduled program. Hopefully we won't lose Dave next time, and hopefully I will be able to remember all the scores again. So thank you for sticking with us this week, and join us next time again, same time, same place. Have a good week, sports fans.